In our last lesson, you learned how to say sie spielt, which means she plays. It can also mean she does play or she is playing. In this lesson, I'd like to briefly show you how we arrived at this form. So instead of just memorizing this, I'd like for you to know how you can do it. What are the steps that you go through in your own mind to conjugate the verb? It's very simple, and you can do it with any regular verb and increase your ability to communicate in German. So we have our basic information here, the infinitive spielen, to play, and the subject pronoun sie. So how do we get to the conjugated form? It's very simple. Drop the en or the n from the infinitive and add t for the subject pronoun sie. So let's try it. Spielen. So I want to say she plays, she does play, she is playing. I know my subject pronoun is sie, and I dropped the en. Notice I dropped the en from the infinitive, so I have spiel. So for sie, all I have to do is just add that t, and there you have the form. Sie spielt. Sie spielt. She plays, she does play, she is playing. So now that you know how this works, let's apply it to some other regular verbs in the present tense. So let's refresh your memory here. To go is gehen, to need, brauchen, to bring, bringen, to find, finden, to ask, fragen, to buy, kaufen, to love, lieben. Notice the infinitives all end in en. So now that we have more regular infinitives in the present tense, let's go ahead and conjugate them with sie. Okay, so gehen. How would you say she goes, she does go, she is going? Remember, drop the en and add the t. So you have sie geht. Sie geht, she goes, she does go, she is going. How would you ask the question? Remember to reverse the word order. Is she going? Geht sie. Geht sie. Brauchen, to need. She needs. In your mind, you can quickly see the en and drop it and add the t, so you have the form braucht, sie braucht. She needs. Does she need? Braucht sie. Bringen. How would you say she brings? Does she bring? She brings. Sie bringt. Bringt sie. Does she bring? Finden, to find. She finds. Does she find? She finds. Does she find? Now this one's a little tricky. When the stem ends in D, you have to add an E before you add the T. So we have sie findet, findet sie. So sie findet, she finds, findet sie, does she find. Remember, that's just a special rule with stems that end in D. When you get to your stem, if it ends in D, when you conjugate it in the Z or the R form, you have to add an E. Findet. Fragen, how would you say she asks, she does ask, she is asking, and then the question, does she ask? Sie fragt, fragt sie. Sie fragt, fragt sie. Kaufen, she buys, does she buy? She buys, does she buy? Sie kauft, kauft sie. Sie kauft, kauft sie. Lieben, to love. She loves, does she love? Sie liebt, liebt sie. Again, notice you're dropping the en and you're adding the t. In the case of finden, because the stem ends in a d, you have to add an e for pronunciation purposes to make it easier to pronounce. So just to sum up, this is what I hope you've learned from this lesson, that you can see or visualize an infinitive and conjugate it into the Z form in German just instantly in your mind. So for example, gehen, if I want to say she goes, geht. Sie geht. Brauchen, sie braucht, with the T. Bringen, sie bringt. Finden, sie findet. Fragen, sie fragt. Kaufen, sie kauft. Lieben, sie liebt. And you can ask questions too. Geht sie? Braucht sie? Bringt sie? Findet sie? Fragt sie? Kauft sie? Liebt sie? So if you can do that, your ability to express yourself in German is really growing, really improving. Okay, well that's it for this lesson. To continue, click on the video that appears here on your screen to go to the next lesson. See you soon. Bis bald.